Hey everyone, I just read Across the Morphin Grid. I got a digital download of it, and it was alright. It was a little disappointing. I I really wanted to like it. I did like the Rocky story. The Rocky story was good. The rest of it was just kind of take or leave, pretty much. Man, I really wanted to like it because the idea of a Power Rangers anthology comic is so appealing to me. That is exactly what I've wanted from the very beginning, but we just have not gotten it for whatever reason. Every time we do get like something kind of like an anthology, it's like just a one-off thing, or we'll get we'll get Ranger Academy, 12 issues of Melatonin. So yeah, there's all my Ranger Academy comics. I don't have every issue here. I have 1 through 8. I don't know where the rest are, but I don't really care. I'm not gonna read this again anytime soon. Oh boy, Ranger Academy, that's wonderful. There are some people out there who did like Ranger Academy, and I'm not gonna have you look at Infinity the whole time. Let's look at this one. This was a good one. So yeah, Ranger Academy. There were people who liked Ranger Academy, and you know what? At first, I was kind of optimistic, cautiously optimistic. I read the first issue and I wasn't big on it, but I thought, this could turn into something I really like, but it never really did. And it's funny? After it finished running, somebody on YouTube did a video about it, and I watched it, and the whole video, they're talking about how great the comic is, and they really loved it. Like, they really got something out of it. And the weird thing is, a lot of the stuff that like I had problems with, or stuff that I liked in it, they had absolutely nothing to say about it. Like one of the big things I harped on in the comics, the Ranger Academy comics, was the security footage changing every issue. There's like 3 or 4 instances of the security footage completely changing each time. There's no narrative reason for it to change. All I can guess is that the artist didn't know what the context was. Like maybe they were like I don't know who the artist was. What was their name? Joe Mi Gyong? So I was kind of wondering, is this a situation like the really old Star Trek comics where uh the reference and the plots and storyboards or whatever were given to some random guy in another country who didn't really speak English and had never seen the show? Was that what was going on with the security footage changing each time? Did the artist just not know what the context was because they didn't know what the plot was or something? That would explain a lot, actually. Anyway, yeah, Ranger Academy. Didn't care for it. So, you know what? Let's talk about some other. I collected all my non-Mighty Morphin Boom comics, which is also almost all my Boom comics. So, first up, you know what? I'm going to talk about Infinity first, because, you know what? I had a lot to say about Infinity. I did a whole video. I'll link it in the description. Oh, and look at the price. This is the original bag it came in, and it was $8. Yeah, $8 for this nonsense. Anyway, Infinity, I don't know who asked for this. I don't know why this was made. I don't know. I really do not understand anything about this comic at all. All I can guess is maybe they thought this was gonna spin off into its own series, which might have been the idea. Like, that would have actually been kind of cool to see this spin off into a series, and we could have seen more of these characters, though they all cease to exist by the end of the comic. Spoilers, I guess. So yeah, the premise of this comic is that Power Rangers. Actually, you know what? I don't even really know what the premise is. It kind of contradicts itself. Yeah, this is a very weird thing, but you know what? I don't even know if people like this or not. Unlike Ranger Academy, where I do see occasional people talking about, it did something for them. Infinity, I saw nothing. Nobody talked about this. And it's too bad because it is a very fascinatingly weird comic that I think more people like could have easily talked about, but yeah. Um Not good. Oh, and nothing on the back. So anyway, let's talk about a good comic. Power Rangers Unlimited, Heir to Darkness. This is all about a young astronomer being raised by Ecliptor, and it's a really cool comic, and you know what? This is probably one of the best comics that Boom has ever done. One of my favorites, actually. I have a few issues with it, like the aesthetic I have an issue with. The aesthetic is kind of ugly. Some of it looks okay. Let's open it up and... You know, I don't know if I've ever done a video about this comic. I might have, like, a year or two ago when I couldn't edit and I sucked and my videos were terrible. So anyway, oh yeah, Flashman shows up just to get murdered. That was kind of a thing for a while in the Boom comics is, hey, you know all those legendary powers that don't mean anything in Super Megaforce? Well, it turns out, yeah, they were actual teams, but then they got murdered. And they're all dead now. Wonderful. So, anyway, yeah, Astronema killed Flashman. It was so worth it to have these characters, wasn't it? So anyway, here we got, yeah, young Astronema, being trained by Ecliptor. Oh, and I remember, back when this came out, we had this kid in red here with brown hair, and he looks like Andros. And a bunch of people I remember were like, wait a minute, in the Boom Comics continuity, is Andros being raised by Ecliptor too? But no, he's just some rando kid. He's not Andros. Even though, like, what am I supposed to think looking at him? Or is that a her? I don't know. It's like a little kid. It's hard to tell sometimes. Oh, and also we got Divatox, and, you know, in a story about child soldiers, I guess maybe they took some influence from She-Ra? Particularly the Netflix She-Ra, because, I mean, look at this, and tell me that's not Catra. Someone drew Divatox and decided she was gonna be Catra. What the hell? It's so bizarre. Anyway, I really like all the stuff with Ecliptor. He has, like, a bit of a conflict, like, inner conflict. He's, like, questioning himself, you know, is this the right thing to do? Is this wrong, what I'm doing? But, you know, he does actually care about these kids he's raising, even if he doesn't fully understand, like, what's going on. Or, like, it's just in his nature, he has to do this, or whatever. Oh, and this is kind of a cool thing. So there's, Astronema, Corone in her original outfit, and there's Darkonda, back when he first kidnapped her. Oh, and there's the locket with the picture of, why does she have purple hair? Okay, I think the artist mixed stuff up here a little bit. Oh, or is this her mother? Okay. I can't remember. I haven't read this in a while. But I still remember quite a bit of it, which is way more than I can say for most of the Boom comics. Like, the other... Like, I tried to read Draken New Dawn because it was, like, a standalone thing, and I don't remember a thing about it. I tried reading... what was it? There was, like, a Shattered Grid thing that a bunch of people said I should read, and I didn't like it. So anyway, was this... let's see. What's at the end here? Okay, I was thinking of something else. Okay. So, yeah. Power Rangers Unlimited, Heir to Darkness is a really good comic. Definitely one of the best of Boom's comics. And if you're a fan of the show, definitely check this out. And then, on the other side, we have, what's this? Edge of Darkness. I remember this one, they promoted really heavily as being all about the Phantom Ranger and how this comic was going to reveal all secrets of the Phantom Ranger. And then it's barely about him, and it's all about, yeah, little Rita there. Yeah, that little twerp there. That's supposed to be a young Rita and her mom. And then we got some Tankas attacking them, which I guess happened in the actual comic or something, because I remember someone, like, showing me a page of it or something. And so anyway, there's a really cool thing here. Let's see, where is he? I think it's at the beginning with the Tangas here. Oh. I guess it's a little further in than I thought. Oh, there he is. So right here, we have a Tanga Shaman or something, which I particularly really like because years ago I wrote a fanfic about Thrax growing up, and I actually did a video about it. I'll link that in the description too. And yeah, Thrax, I had him raised by like a race of Tanga warriors, and there was a Tanga Shaman is what I called him. I don't know what this guy is called, but you know what? He has magic powers, he has a staff, he has like the little robe, he has the hat. He's a Tanga Shaman. That's pretty cool. And I kind of wondered if they, like, did someone read my fanfic and take inspiration from that? Because if so, cool. And then there's this other thing later on where he's holding something. It looks like he's holding an egg. And then, like, he eats it or something. And then he, like, crushes it and it makes him grow powerful. Which, there is a magic egg in my story. You don't eat it to grow powerful, it hatches into a monster, but, yeah, that's but, you know, birds and eggs, so it's possible that's a total coincidence, nothing to do with my story, there was zero influence from it. And so yeah, let's move on. Here we got Sins of the Future. This, man, I really wanted to like this, but man, it is just overly convoluted and just not very good. It is written by Trey Moore, and usually I really like Trey Moore's stuff, but this, yeah, I don't know, maybe Matthew Ehrman's input kind of ruined everything. I don't really know. Oh, there was something in the back here. What was that? Oh, it's that reprint of the first issue they put everywhere. I hate that. So anyway, this comic is all about Jen and a self-fulfilling time loop where this ranger is like messing up the timeline or something, and so she meets up with the ranger, tells them to stop, and then she gives that ranger the morpher in the past so she can put in motion the time loop or something. Oh, and yeah, Wes is on the cover. He's meaningless. There's Frax. He's I don't even know why he's on the cover. Is he even in this comic? Oh wait, yeah, I think they mentioned Dr. Ferrix or something in here. Oh hey, there's that one page with that little heart thing that's like the only like oh yeah, and then Rancic is what was he going? He was like in SPD or something. I don't remember exactly what was going on, but it was like a reference to Hyperforce or something, which I didn't read Hyperforce. Oh hey, there's oh, okay, Ferrix is building Frax there, so yeah, he's on one page. That justifies him being on the cover. Wait, was it there? Ah, dang, I don't know where it is, but somewhere there's that image of... Oh, crap, I missed it. It was right there. Nadira has, like, a little, Oh, there it is. So she has this dude in a heart-shaped frame of someone, and I don't think they say who it is here. It's like just a little reference, like, to Hyperforce or something. So in Ranger Academy, that's under all this crap here, I remember there was an issue where Nadira shows up, and she says her husband is missing, and I was like, oh, Lucas. But then everyone was saying, oh, now I remember, Joe. And I was like, who the frig is Joe? And I looked it up, and I found on Wikipedia this picture, and apparently that's like the only evidence that she's married to Joe is she has a heart-shaped frame of him. Is this him? Isn't Joe played by Yoshi Sudarso? Is that Yoshi Sudarso? I can't really tell. It kind of looks like just some generic guy. So yeah, I didn't care for Sins of the Future. Okay, moving on. Psychopath. I didn't like Psychopath either. So this one's all about the Psycho Rangers are being, like, rehabilitated by Corone, and there's a really stupid page. Oh, there it is! I flipped right to it, and I lost it now. Oh, there it is. So, the Psycho Rangers show up, they say their thing, and then at the end, but we're evil, don't tell our mother. I'm kind of surprised this hasn't become a meme in the Power Rangers fandom. Like, this is so stupid. Oh, and then there's, like, a running thing with, like, everybody's just really angry all the time. Like, Andros and TJ especially, whenever they show up, they're just angry all the time. What's in the back here? Oh, yeah, there's a bonus comic written by Trey Moore, and it's actually kind of good. Again, I don't like the idea of introducing these Sentai teams just to kill them off, although here, like, it is part of a good story. It's not just like, oh, they show up for one page and then they're murdered. Like, there is a story around them, and if they wanted to go back and explore this more, they really could. Oh, and this is where, now I remember, so there's Dark Spectre, and then there's this weird purple hair girl. Who is this? This isn't Astronema, is it? It doesn't look like her. Yeah, I don't know who this... And she has red eyes? Who is this? I remember I read this for the first time, and I remember asking people who this was, and I couldn't get a good answer. Who is she? Okay, and then here we got Soul of the Dragon, Tommy's comic. This was... it was alright. Like, I don't know. Oh, and it reprints that stupid first issue again. I hate that. So anyway, it's okay. I'm just not really a fan of, like, taking Mighty Morphin of all seasons and then trying to do darker stories with it. Like, it can work, but man, it just feels like it's trying way too hard to be, like, gritty. Also, it just kind of messes up some stuff. Oh, hey, there's Blue Centurion with SPD, something that never happened in the show, but really should have. So, you know what? A plus for that. There's Lokar. Oh yeah, Lokar gives Scorpina new powers, and that kind of annoyed me. That was something in that new Across the Morphin Grid comic. There's a story with Prince Gasket coming back, and he's just kind of a generic bad guy, and that kind of disappointed me because, like, I've always headcanoned, like, had my own fan theories about Gasket and why he never comes back, and my thinking was that, like, he had his own stuff going on back ruling the Machine Empire, and we even have the Machine Empire come back in Forever Red, but he's not a part of it, even though he totally could have been. There was nothing stopping them from saying Venjix was Gasket, or, like, using the suit. I think the Gasket suit is still around, and Archerina and all them, or whatever. So, yeah, my thinking was always that he probably just didn't care about Earth. He decided, you know what, I'm going to rule my own nation, and that's going to be fine, and Earth can do whatever. King Mondo is dead. He doesn't have to impress him or anything, or placate him. So, yeah, that's fine. I kind of thought if Gasket ever came back, he would be an ally, so I don't know if it's just, like, I have my own fan theories in my head, and that clashes with what they wrote in the comic, and that irritates me. Like, it does, but whatever. So anyway, Scorpina, it turns out she was trapped in another dimension because she was reading some of Rita's magic books or something, and Lokar gives her new abilities, and it's fine, but man, it just feels like a waste of these characters. Like, you finally bring them back, and that's all you do with them? Whatever. Okay, moving on to Aftershock. Yeah, this is one of the only comics that Boom did that isn't a Mighty Morphin comic. But it is, like, based on a Mighty Morphin remake, reboot, whatever. You know what? I kind of like Aftershock. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's okay. One of the weird things with this, I really think that they were trying really hard to not step on the toes of a potential sequel. Uh, Hindsight 2020, I guess? Anyway, Aftershock, it's okay. Oh, and also it reprints the first issue again in the back. That's freaking stupid. Not as bad as the Archives Volume 2 reprint. Anyway, it's fine. But yeah, I think it's way too restrained. There's no Tommy, even though Tommy was set up at the end of the first movie. And I think, yeah, this is like trying really, really hard to be an in-between type of thing, so that when the sequel comes out, this can still be considered, like, in canon or whatever. But the sequel never got made, and, but also, I think that they should have just swung for the fences, do crazy stuff, go nuts. I mean, who cares if this isn't going to be canon later when they make the sequel? Like, even if they did make a sequel and this completely contradicted it, like, wouldn't this still be an interesting thing to look back on? As it is, it's just kind of this weird thing that exists, and it's fine, but it's kind of forgettable. Also, it's really rare for some reason. I remember I tried to find this, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I ended up having to go to some really obscure comic book website. What was it? AtomicEmpire.com. Okay. They're not that obscure. I've heard of them, like, doing other things, but yeah, I couldn't even get it off eBay or Amazon. I had to go straight to their website or something back in the day. And then here we got the Lost Chronicles books. These are really cool, and these are probably the closest to what I really wish the comics would do. So here we got Volume 1, which collects the first two annuals, I think. And, yeah, it's all Mighty Morphin stuff, pretty much. That's kind of annoying that it's only Mighty Morphin stuff and nothing else. But at least it's, like they're kind of good, and there's some variety. Like, the stories are different. We have completely different art styles. This one is really interesting because it goes for, like, a photorealistic style with the characters from the show. Well, I mean, Billy's in his comic book outfit. Oh, and Jason's mom, I guess that's his mom. Like, I don't think that's what his mom looked like in the show. Also, he has a laptop, which definitely existed in 1993. Oh, yeah, and his karate instructor. Oh, there she is. She's only in the comics. She's not from the show. So even though this was, like, based, like, in the comics world, it, like, the artwork, especially, like, for Jason there, like, yeah, that's Austin St. John in 1993, definitely. That is nothing like the Jason in the comics. Oh, and here we got the other Rangers, again. Like, yeah, the art style is definitely going more from the show than the comics, but after this, they wouldn't usually do that. They kind of stuck to the comic designs for everything and wouldn't go too far off it. See, then we got a comic about Bulk and Skull becoming Rangers. Out of focus. Yeah. Then there was this thing with, was this the one with this, like, cat monster from space? Oh, yep, there she is. It kind of, I don't remember exactly what was going on in here, but I remember she was kind of cool looking. Oh, yep, there she is. Or is she like a weasel or something? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Oh, there's the Bulk and Skull Rangers there, and that is some crazy artwork. Oh, yeah, and here's, I think, Trey Moore's first comic, Goldar's origin, and we meet Goldar's brother. And, yeah, there's a whole thing. Let's see. Oh, and here's this guy who apparently is one of the crows from Tokyuger, but in a cloak. That is pretty fascinating. I didn't realize that. Oh, and then Lord Zed, newly messed up by the Zeo Crystal. Oh, but they do draw Zordon with ears, which I don't like. And I also don't like the Alpha Head spaceship, but, you know what, whatever, minor nitpicks. Everything else is really cool. And then it ends with, yeah, Goldar fighting the Rangers. Oh, then we got Bimmy and Jimmy. Oh, yeah, and this is something. James Gochaka did artwork for a Power Rangers comic. That is pretty funny. So, yeah, really cool that, yeah, they had such a variety of art styles. I really wish this is what they stuck with. Okay, this comic I remember not being very impressive, but, like, the art style is definitely unique. Oh, and there's the comic designs. I don't know what's up with the Zordon there. Let's see, what was this comic about? Pretty ugly art style, actually. Sorry. I don't remember. What was this? Okay, Rita talking to Tommy, and... Why does Tommy look like, Adam Driver? Is that the idea here? He's Adam Driver? And then, what do we got here? Stuff happening, and explosion, Goldar, real original. Oh, is this the Black Ranger one? Yep, here's the Black Ranger one with... We got a ton of Black Rangers! Yeah. Oh, including, yeah, Adam from Always a Chance. Cool. You know, there are, like, actual Black Rangers from other seasons. You didn't have to resort to, like, negative photo Black Ranger. What? So, yeah. Oh, and then here's the other Trey Moore comic, Finster's Origin. I kind of wish Trey Moore did more Power Ranger comics. Like, easily the best stuff was what he was doing. Also, the artwork, really great here, very atmospheric. It reminds me of the illustrations in the old Scary Tales to Tell in the Dark books. Oh yeah, and then this comic. I didn't like this comic. So Goldar and Scorpina, they're just goofballs. They're just goofballs having fun. And it's so ironic to me that, like, the comics so often try to be, like, dark and gritty, but then they will be silly, but just in a way that completely... It just feels so wrong to me. So, oh, yeah, and then there's this thing, which I think this was from... Yeah, this was from the very first issue, I think, which was a... Oh, yeah, this was a collection of, like, short stories. Yeah, it was like an anthology before the main series started. And it doesn't really have an ending. It just has, like... They corner Goldar, and then the end. And I remember some people were, like, questioning, is that really it? Is there more? Is there a page missing? Nope, that is it. I don't really know what they were going for there. And so here we got Lost Chronicles Volume 2, which starts off with the Shattered Grid comics, which at first I was like, oh, cool, we're gonna see other seasons, other characters, but it's all like through the frame of Shattered Grid, so that kind of puts a damper on it. Like, these stories aren't really going to go anywhere, they don't really mean anything, because it's just more stuff for Shattered Grid. It's not really stuff for those characters in those seasons or anything. Like, oh, hey, here we got RPM, that's cool, but yeah, it's kind of just setting up the, yeah, Dr. K is going to be in Shattered Grid, and there's this picture, which is kind of cool, but whatever. And more Shattered Grid stuff. Oh, and I think this is the one where, yep, there it is. This is the one where TJ calls Andros Captain Crunch, and I don't get it. I assume that is an insult. Like, assuming is all we have, because I don't know. I don't get it. Is this just me not getting a joke? Because that happens occasionally. I don't get a joke. I don't understand phrases sometimes, but yeah, I don't really know what Captain Crunch means to Andros or TJ. Okay, here we got a Mighty Morphin comic with a bulldog thing, and then Scorpina gets it back at the end, or Rita, something, I don't really know. Another Mighty Morphin comic, we got Adam and Aisha there, we got these characters, and oh, here's the Mystic Force comic, that's kind of cool. We have a young Udana talking with Mystic Mother, and there's, let's see, fighting Korag, and she's thinking about Lienbo, and blah blah blah, and that's really cool. And then we got Ninja Steel. I remember this was kind of a big deal back in the day, and also it turns out Alpha 5 is alive, he's not Alpha 7. Okay, so I guess he was just, I don't know, and at some point he met Mick? Alright then, whatever. Don't bother, like, expanding on that or anything. And then here we got Corone on trial, and it's kind of a cool idea. I just think, like, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the in Space Rangers are overly angry. Like, it's just kind of an overly tense and angry story for some reason. It's kind of interesting, though, at least. And then here we got a Mighty Morphin thing with Ninjor. I think, yeah, Ninjor is in here. And then that's it. So, yeah, you know, I said this was non-Mighty Morphin stuff, but a bunch of that was Mighty Morphin stuff still. So yeah, out of all of Boom's output, not a whole lot to show when it comes to, like, Power Rangers as a franchise. Speaking of which, here we go. Yeah, up here, there's Mighty Morphin, here's the next box set, all the other box sets, a couple of movies, DVDs, here's Samurai, and down here we got Megaforce and Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel, the movie, and Once and Always, Blu-ray from Hong Kong or whatever, a couple of boxes of other stuff, and here we got a bunch of tapes. I got even more tapes down there under that shelf that's blocked by all the pillows and stuff, and then over there I got some tapes, and oh, there's the Legacy Collection. So yeah, hi. I guess that's it for this one. Oh, something else to show you, I guess, while I'm here. Here's some Power Rangers Valentine's cards. Isn't that cool? Oh, and there's Ninja Cons. Oh, and some Power Rangers 2017 gummies. The Lost Galaxy Megazord. Oh, there's 2017 Rita up there. There's a Lost Galaxy mask from Halloween. There's the Imaginext Goldar. Isn't that cool? Some VR Trooper Christmas ornaments. Don't really know what I'm doing now, so that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.